cmpradio.net. It's the station.
cmpradio.net, man. You already know it's the station. We are live from the Cultivating Mature Positivity Studios, man. And tonight I have my brother. When I call this man my brother, I don't he's not my blood brother, but you can't tell the love he has shown to the radio station, right? Since his first interview on Keys to Success with JR Kicks, constant motivation, constant ideas. He brings me a plate full of food and he challenges me.
Or not today.
Not today. He ate in my face, right. Literally. Brought food in. You know how.
Shout out to Duo Tacos.
But man, Chris Rogers, Dr. Chris Rogers, how you feeling, good brother?
Oh man, thank you so much for the introduction. I definitely feel the brotherly love. Happy to be here once again.
Mm-hmm.
CMP Radio, we got to maintain vehicles for community expression, for community free expression. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm really just grateful for the work that you do and the sacrifices that you make in trying to, sustain this space for folks to be able to, share their thoughts and feelings. You know
Absolutely.
What I'm saying?
And that's what it's about, right? We deal with so much in our community. We keep so many things inside of us.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whether you're grieving, whether you're upset, whether you're mad, whether you're frustrated, whether you're happy.
Right.
You know what I mean? We keep those things bottled up because we think we're the only ones that go through it. And in all actuality, man, you're not alone.
Exactly.
You feel me? You're not alone in grief. You're not alone in frustrations. You're not alone in being mad. You're not alone in happiness. You have to share it. So since I started the radio station, that's what it's been about, right? If you don't want to talk,
right,
I will talk. I will tell you how I felt, how I looked, how I dealt with life. And if you don't like my story, that's cool.
Right.
But I told it.
Right.
And that, I'm trying to tell you, that empowers people to hear.
Yeah.
People call me all the time, yo, bro, I appreciate you, man.
Right.
Like seriously. I'm like, yo, you need to come on the live and say that. Like, don't tell me over here on the corner, you feel me? Say it on the live, share it.
Right.
Let people know, like, yo, I really, really, really bang with this. You feel me?
And I think another thing to add on to that, and just in my little research work is also about like, there is something certainly like different, more impactful, more sort of like it resonates more when it's local. We got these phones now, and you got social media, and you can like watch little clips from people all over the world. But it's something when you hear it in the sort of like tone and dialect and the specific references of a place, that makes it even more real for folks. So it's also I think that's the part too about like local radio, community radio, is it's also about taking it off the sort of like pedestal of like the content creator who's telling you what to say into people who are around you, who surround you, and are given language that represent the sort of everyday experience, you know? And like that way of making connections to emotions and ideas and thoughts, it holds, you know, longer.
It should.
Than any sort of like
Fake facade.
Like, you know,
Just
little
up,
clip. Like it might, you know, you might repost it in a moment, but it don't sit on your heart. You know, this is why I just like, I keep a steady diet of local rap music. Because I want to hear what the young guys is out here saying.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
like, listen local, you know, invest into your local poets,
invest local,
your local creators,
Spend
your local storytellers. Like,
I seen a commercial yesterday. They were talking about spend money at Barnes and Noble. Don't give money to a billionaire. And I thought about that for a couple seconds. And I was like, wow. When you think about what billionaire they were talking about.
Okay.
Don't give your money to Amazon.
Oh, yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, but I'm like, yo, not even that. Spend even localer.
Right.
If that's a word.
Yeah.
My man to put the R's on everything. Localier.
Right. Yeah. And you talking about books, you know, shout out Barnes and Nobles is a big box.
Right.
So obviously one of the reasons I'm here
is
to get plugged in block party.
Yes,
which is coming up this Saturday with the Missing Plug alongside the Chester Gifted program who's there and producing the event. But it's certainly not focused on us. It's focused on black and brown creatives, entrepreneurs, community leaders, and creating a platform for folks that like, you know, talk about the sort of business that you're incubating. Talk about the different products and things that you sell. So like when we talk about books, man, we could do a bit better in Chester around book sales. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying this out loud to anybody who's listening.
Because you got a book.
You got
two books.
I got my own book, yes. But I'm very interested in
other books.
Trying to ensure the availability of books. Like we got J. Lewis Crozier Library, which is bringing in great text every couple moments.
Right. We got local authors that are writing books, right?
Right. Oh, Unspoken Truths by Taria Graves.
I'm trying to get as many authors to come through here and talk about their books, right? And sometimes it's not feasible because they're uncomfortable, right? And sometimes it's not feasible because my timing doesn't work, right? But we're working on that. She's coming back to do a 4-part series on her book.
Okay, word.
And that's her podcast. I want people to have the power to create their own.
Right.
I'm trying to read your book.
Right.
I don't want to ask questions that somebody else might not want to ask
or
might not even care about. So talk about your book. Talk about what you're giving, what you're doing, what you see, what you saw to make you write that section of that book, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's where the juice is.
And
it's inside of your head. It's not inside of mine.
And where you going with this is a place that I also would love to see like continue to be explored and to get plugged in block party and the work of Chester Gifted program. You know what I mean? And we're going to have some things to be able to talk about it. Like it's not the like levels of engagement with art, with creativity, right? Like it is a victory in its own right to write the book, to do the work to produce it.
I'm writing my own book. I can't
produce the artwork, right? To
past,
produce the sort of painting on canvas. But then I think after that, I do think there's like I call it responsibility. You know what I mean? Of like of the audience to like engage that work, right?
Yes.
Of like moving past the like, yo, I'm proud that you wrote that, into yo, this is what I learned. This is what I felt
when I read
I read it. Wow. Like, how do we create a culture of like discussing and dialoguing and being in, you know, getting into it with the art that is created? even the music that's created around here. You know, we need to talk about these bars.
I've been talking about like having a podcast, having a radio show,
Right.
where we play local. I'm trying to get DJ Naj B. You feel me?
Got you.
He got his side B.
Right.
Get the artists in here. Talk to them
Right.
about their album. Talk to them
Right.
about their creative process. It's a
Right.
process.
Right.
I don't know what that process is, but get them to come through here and talk to them about it. I don't know if it'll blow up.
Right.
Right. But if it does, it's yours.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think one of the things that you mentioned, DJ Naj B, you know, he's doing a rap cipher.
Yes,
this Saturday is part of the Get Plugged In block party.
Yes.
Registration begins at 5:30.
Yes.
And you know, bringing that back, man.
Right.
Bringing that. I think that's like the new era of Speaker's Corner. You know, people talk about like the historic Speaker's Corner of Harlem
Right.
during the Harlem Renaissance, and
Yes.
folks who would get up on the soapbox, if you will, and get their 5 minutes. Man, that's what rap ciphers are, man.
Yes.
That's what Yes God really,
Yes.
you know,
That's what he did.
he
in
built that
Chester
joint
Park.
out in the city,
Right,
you know.
Right.
And I also got to give a shout out to William Hoff. I know he was making DVDs too.
Absolutely.
I know, you know what I mean? So,
Tons
which
of
is to say,
Tons of brothers were making DVDs.
sometimes in Chester, we can reduce things to the one popular person.
Which is
But
crazy.
usually there's always
About 10 other people.
10 or so other people who might not have been the first,
Right.
but are people that are
That kept
also
it going.
contributing to this conversation.
Absolutely.
So we need to be able to track the conversations better too.
It's hard.
It is hard.
I think that's hard. When we come from a small city, right?
Got you.
And we come from a city that is based on popularity. The popular person wins. Whoever the popular person is, whatever
Right.
they're popular for, they win at that moment. You feel me? So
Yeah.
when you think about, what you're trying to do, you're trying to get people to understand how important their life is in Chester. Individual. How important is your individual life in Chester?
Right.
And right now you have a project that's out, right?
Yeah.
And you're collecting the sounds.
Man, this is a great segue.
Right,
By
right.
the
You
way.
like that?
That was an
See, I'm
amazing
learning.
segue, bro.
Listen, I'm
That
trying
was
to
an
tell you.
amazing segue.
I'm
by the
trying
way.
to tell you.
I didn't even see that one coming.
I know you didn't.
Right.
I'm learning. I'm learning.
Right.
I'm learning. It's coming together, right?
Right.
Because I'm learning
Yeah.
that the sounds that I have,
Right.
the way that I think,
Right.
is unique to me.
Agreed.
It might not be unique to someone else.
Right.
Because when I first started the radio station, I wasn't even comfortable with who I am. 9 years I've
Got
been
you.
doing this.
I think that's important to say.
right.
Sure.
9 years.
Right.
I didn't know who I was or
Right.
what I was doing.
Yeah.
Started the radio station after just deciding to quit selling drugs and the street life and left it behind.
Right.
And started a radio station.
Right.
The fuck is you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you know how many people ask me, what are you doing with the radio station?
Right.
I'm figuring it out.
Exactly.
The first 5 years I was figuring it out. That 5-year hit in 2022, and I said, oh, we can really do this.
Word.
Okay.
And some might even say, by figuring out the radio station, you were also figuring out yourself.
I was. What I liked, what I didn't like, who I wanted to be, what I
Right.
didn't want to be, what I didn't want to say, what I didn't want to see. All that came, but I had to put the drinks down.
Yep.
You feel me? I had to put the fun down
Mm-hmm.
and really get into what makes a radio station.
Right.
And that's hard. So I just asked you a question about your project that you're doing right now.
Yeah, and this is a perfect segue. I haven't mentioned it yet. So, Chester Gifted program, which is myself, DJ Notch B, and also Rebel Foster.
If I wanted to join Chester Gifted program, would I be allowed to do that?
We are all gifted. Is our tagline. So yes, it is.
Because I'm just.
But I think we're figuring out the idea of Chester Gifted program is a sound system, right? It's really this homage, a tribute to Jamaican sound systems, and this idea of Jamaican sound system. The culture of it was like we're claiming space
Right.
with these speakers
Absolutely.
and this sound,
Yes.
right? And we are putting on for our culture and like claiming the sort of thoroughfare, the sort of, you know what I mean? And we got our speakers, but also we putting on great records.
Right.
Right. And the idea is that as music does, it changes the vibration of a space. So the idea of the Chester Gifted program sound system is a collective of Chester folks
Yes, it is.
who are like using sound to change the vibration in our neighborhoods.
Damn.
So in some ways, CMP Radio is already doing that work, right? And I think some of our work is like, how do we honor that as Just a Gifted program? And I think as we doing with the Get Plugged In Block Party, much of it is about that reflection of what people are doing back to them.
Right.
And this connects back to the, album in a way. But you think about the block party, the number of entrepreneurs and vendors that have signed up, right? How are we celebrating and uplifting the work that they've been doing, right? How are we celebrating and uplifting the DJs that come from the city, the food vendors, the fashion that folks have, right? These are just ways of reflecting the beauty of the community back to itself.
Yes.
Which was an extension of where we get into this album project, which begins for the Chester Gifted program. We were doing these parties in West Philadelphia, Dallock, Paradise, 47th in Baltimore, called Mama's Basement. It was a sort of remix of Rebel Foster's original sort of like title of the party. And the idea was like, yo, how do we sort of like create this sort of like free space vibe, right? And think about how inclusive we can make the party. Recognizing that we, as three black men, right? And the sort of party atmosphere that you create.
Right.
You know what I mean? We all grew up with Wallies and twerk jams and all that. But we also know in those spaces sometimes the type of foolishness and things that can go on. So the idea of the party was like, yo, what can we do to sort of think about, organize towards a safer, inclusive, and like freer space where everybody feels free to let loose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was the idea of these parties, and in the midst of that, we worked with a curator from the Institute of Contemporary Art. Her name's Denise Reiner.
Right.
A friend of mine, someone I love talking art. And she's more in the world of like conceptual art, or like there's this thing called the Venice, the art people, Biennale. I used to call it biennial. You know what I'm saying? The Biennale is how they say it, right? And there's an idea of like each country in the world sends a exhibition to Venice, Italy, and it's there for 2 months with the artists from that place. And the idea is they're producing art that is sort of like a reflection of
where they
some
come
of the
from.
struggles and contradictions and things that are happening in those countries, or the sort of like contributions of those countries into this sort of like world sphere. So Denise and I, and she's from Toronto, spent a lot of time in Berlin, spent time in Vancouver, and now sort of like works in Philadelphia. And she was working on this exhibit called The Condition of Being Near.
The condition of being near.
Yeah.
To what?
So it is an exhibition of what she's calling Afro-Asian solidarities, right? The relationship between Black and Asian communities, right? And seeing the ways in which, in some ways, we need to have a conversation between us.
Absolutely.
Without one of the things is like you have the specter of, white supremacy and sort of like Europe, and that is in some ways like putting our two communities against each other. And at the same time, there's also this sort of counter history of ways that we have, supported each other, come together. Right. But there's also contradictions within that work too. So like, how do we find this artistic space to have conversations between Black and Asian communities about the things that we've like worked together to overcome, but also about the sort of challenges that we have with each other's communities.
And where is this art show taking place?
So it's going to be at the Institute of Contemporary Art.
Yeah, when is this?
That is at 36 and Sansom in West Philadelphia. It opened September 25th. That's the opening night.
Oh man!
And we were partnered with Hong Kai Wang from Taiwan.
Right.
She's a sound artist.
Last year,
Yep. And we did a panel last year.
Yes.
In some ways, we were able to support the Block Party based on the funding of doing this sort of collaborative dialogue with this artist from Taiwan.
Right.
So imagine like the ability to be like, we're getting some of the honorariums that we're getting, which is allowing us to be able to invest into producing a block party in Chester, is coming out of, the country of Taiwan's cultural funds, because they see this relationship that they're trying to engage between, Chester in Taiwan. And funny enough, Mayor Stefan Roots is headed to Taiwan at the end of this month.
Right.
And thinking about, more relationships between our two spaces.
Absolutely.
So this idea that we had around sound, right? The relationship to our communities. Hong Kai is based in Taiwan. She's been looking at this city or area called Tai Chi. And one of the things that distinguishes Tai Chi is industrial pollution. You see where I'm going here? Right? So Tai Chi was a traditional sort of like fishery town, right on the water. The culture is kind of built around fishing.
Right.
And with the sort of impact of the industrial sites that have been placed there, it's almost becomes like a ghost town because
the water,
the pollution impacted the waterways, which has impacted the fishing, which has impacted the local economies. Right. So her work was taking a deep look into Tai Chi Taiwan, which gave us the opportunity to take a deep look into Chester.
Wow.
Yeah. So I know that was a lot.
No, it wasn't.
That was a lot?
That wasn't a lot.
Okay.
That was nowhere near a lot.
I was trying to set the scene a bit because that is the thing that starts us on this sort of field recording project.
Right.
Of how do the sounds that we're hearing around us, right? How does it reflect our everyday life and like what we're both confronting, right? The sounds that are impacting us, but also the sounds that we're creating or that we're emitting, right? We talk about like the way that music and or even our own voices can change the vibration in the space, right? It's like how looking at sound in the air.
So how did you collect the sounds? Like, did you give people microphones?
Great question.
Okay.
So the joints that we bought was a Zoom H1 Essential recorders.
Okay.
Now these are like $100 a pop.
Right. Like this, but this is this.
Yeah. Like that. What you see there.
This is an essential, right?
Right.
I'm about to get the studio joint. You feel me?
Got you.
Yeah.
So like in practice, these are things that sort of journalists or reporters they walk around with in their recording interviews or whatnot.
Absolutely.
There's a level of them that even go up to like movie level sort of like Foley sound.
Yeah.
Like you're putting them on the pole, and it's getting the recording of a space.
Yes.
So we got like the entry level Zoom H1 recorders. Right. We bought 3. And I took one, Naj took one, and we also were able to offer one as like a floating one that went to like my sister for a minute. It also went, Crystal Burrell had it for a time.
Why didn't I get it?
I think, did we talk about this? I feel like, I feel like did we talk about recording sounds?
We talked about it.
Okay.
We had a conversation.
Well, we had the recorders.
I never got the recorder.
But you know what the beautiful thing about it is, bro? Is that
it's still recording. It doesn't stop.
What we did.
Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 5,495.
Exactly. Yeah. But and the other part of that too is we were able to get support from where I work at.
Absolutely.
Haverford College. Right. To purchase video cameras too. We got some DJI pockets.
Oh, you got some DJI pockets? Okay.
Right. So, and what we did is we took the 3 recorders that we used for this process alongside the DJI pocket. They're all at J. Lewis Crozier Library.
Right. Part
of the new Library of Things program that they've been developing.
Come on.
And they're open for anyone in the Chester community to borrow.
Anybody.
And you can do it for your own personal projects. It's something you might just want to record an oral history or something.
Wow.
Or you could use this as an opportunity to contribute to our growing archive, which is on SoundCloud. The Chester Gifted Program Field Recording Archive. So we're still building these things up and finding different ways to utilize them. Like this is Engineer Grace Volume 1. I've been working with a young son who I was with here last time. My little cousin LJ, who's also, working on a music project that will incorporate some of the sounds from the field recording archive, and we'll put that out. And the idea is like, we want to remix these things, right? Like see them as like different samples and whatnot, and different stories that folks can remix and turn into different projects. So I'm excited to, at some level share some of the things that we recorded here tonight.
Right.
And just as we mentioned in the beginning, have a little dialogue about them, right? Because the idea is just like, yeah, you're listening closely, attentively, but then the idea is like, yo, what am I hearing, right? And yeah. So
I remember being young and White Men Can't Jump.
Yeah.
And they were having a debate upon listening and hearing.
Right.
Right. You hear it, but you're not listening to it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you hear the train.
Right.
You're not listening to the train. And I began to listen to the train.
Yep.
Clack, 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 clack. Right. Like now you hear that when you try to listen to something, you listen to all the sounds. You don't just hear the big sound over top. You hear the whistle in the background. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, and it was one time because we lived down on 3rd Street, and the train went right over Jeffrey Street, right? And I would sit down there. My man lived right there from the train, and you could hear it, right? I remember one night we heard a raccoon get hit. Heard it screaming, right? Or it was a cat or a raccoon, but like, damn, it just got hit by the train. That's crazy. You feel me? Like,
right.
But you start to listen to things and you pick up on what's happening around you, right? That it's more than just how I'm experiencing it. It's more than just how you're experiencing it. It's how we're experiencing it, and we all experience things differently.
Oh, yes. And I mean, and there's a lot of different ways of engaging listening. Like I was talking to DJ Naj B about this, of like, one of the things as we were going through this sort of project, and it was this idea of like, reading the room, of what does that look like, or what does it sound like, right? Particularly as a DJ, or
you can't read the crowd, you can't DJ.
Right. And so that's the idea of like listening, but it's not always like it's kind of multi, right? It's not just your ears; you're also
it's your eyes.
watching too.
Right.
But it's a certain kind of listening. And we was joking about it because it was like, well, how'd you learn how to do that?
Right.
And I think in that conversation was like, it's focus.
Right. It is.
You
need complete focus to do anything.
Right.
Anything that requires you to keep people captive requires a higher level of focus,
right,
than to not keep them captive.
Yes.
Right. So to engage as a DJ and be hitting notes and have people in there going crazy and dancing and feeling the music, you have to hit a zone.
Right.
You can't hit that zone if you're not willing to be a DJ.
Right.
If you're not trying to be a DJ, you know, if you're just trying to play music, that's different. You know what I mean? But to be a DJ, to keep the crowd moving and the girls shaking and the men buying drinks and different things like that. Oh man, you got to hit that zone.
And that's a perfect metaphor of what we're attempting to do with this album project, right? Is like, how do we think in the zone of Chester? So
and I guess you'll be up at homecoming.
Right. So
will you be at homecoming?
Well, we are going to be at homecoming. The question is whether we're going to be recording at homecoming, because now we're in this thing of like, if you recording something, are you in it or are you recording it?
Well, you can record the sound without recording anything,
right?
And just go back and listen to it. Everybody got a tape recorder. We're not recording conversations. We're recording the sound.
Yeah.
So you get somebody in the football game, you feel me, to record the sound, the cheerleaders, the Dave Berman announcing the game, you feel me, the cheers, the boos, all the good stuff. Oh, ref, you suck. Like to get the feeling of a homecoming game is something that's different. And it's and thanks to, the class of 1999 for doing what they did and coming out first and doing it. And I know there were other classes that were out there with them as well.
Yep.
Shout out to those classes, right? But to be able to record that, to hear that, to play that, like, yo, I was there for that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like that's how I see homecoming, like I was there for that.
Right.
I was, man, I wanna be out there. I wanna record the game. I was on the visual, recording the game with no play-by-play. You know what I mean? Just recording the game, letting the kids play, you feel me?
Yeah.
I'm not a cameraman. You know how many people was yelling at me? Oh man, get a new cameraman.
Right.
Like, okay, I'm not a cameraman.
Right.
Come up here and do it yourself.
Right.
And I guarantee you're gonna have the same exact problems because you don't know that you're supposed to be focused on the camera. You're not getting paid for this. But if you start paying me for it, then I ain't got no other choice. I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm gonna pay attention.
Yeah, and I don't know. I was a kid that grew up with I was recording songs off the radio. Once I got the VCR, you could, get the VHS, record the music videos. So, and I guess what I'm attempting to say there is is also being attentive to the archive, right? That we need an archive of our our lived experiences.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Something that we can sort of pass on
to our children.
To our children, right?
So they know
how life was lived in a particular moment. But it's also something that allows us to thread generations of lived experiences, right? And say the things that happen now also as a ritual go back.
What they do.
They go back.
They do.
And particularly for those who research the sort of African retentions of the types of dances that we do, or the types of circles that we form, or the collective movements. Those things are the things that have helped us to survive. So it's you're also in archiving those moments, creating this sort of thread of experience. And particularly, maybe it's different now because a lot more people got cameras and all this other stuff. Part I hate, or part that I struggle with, is do you know how many New York streets I'm forced to know right now? Do you know how many LA things, or Washington D.C., or there's also this idea of what being black is Harlem, New York, or Compton, or
but that's a part of being black. It's not all to being black,
right?
Because there are blacks everywhere.
That's true.
So wherever there's a black person, trust me,
right,
they've impacted their area somehow,
right,
some way, right? So it's yes, do we need more stories from the city of Chester? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Do we need to promote more stories?
Right.
Absolutely. Do we need more people talking?
Right.
Absolutely. When I started the radio station, I really didn't start it to become famous.
Right.
I really started so I can talk into the microphone to my children. I had just divorced their mom. I knew they were about to be dealing with some.
Right.
And I didn't know how long I would be here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's I didn't expect myself to be 46 years old. I was boy, I'll be dead. I'll be dead before 46, 37, 38, 39. Right. So when I started the radio station, I was just talking. I was talking to my son first. You know what I mean? He wasn't even in the room. And I was like, yo, when you go out on a date, man, I want you to be a gentleman. I want you to open the door. I want you to pull out her chair. I want you to ask her how her day's going.
Right.
You feel me? Be inquisitive into her. Wonder about her and how she feels, right? And then in turn, she will do the same thing for you. If she doesn't, pay for the food and leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was my first advice I gave to my son. You feel me? And I never had to give it to him because I ended up giving it to him in real life.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's what I was recording. I really wasn't. And everybody was like, why are you always in the station? Why? Well, because I'm talking. Ain't nobody there. I'm learning how to operate all this equipment, how to record my voice, how to talk about the things that I want to talk about.
Right.
So.
But that's what you're saying is we have a philosophy, right? We have a standpoint. We got a perspective, right? That's been formed in this place. And we need to be about the work of celebrating that. And particularly as someone who also does research work, it's important because, as you mentioned, black folks are everywhere. So how are the different conditions in different places reshaping, or how are we remixing culture? For example, I don't want to get no trouble, but we got a hoagie war going on right now.
We had one. It's not.
Oh, it's over now?
It's not. I think we're in how do you? Is it a repass?
Okay.
It's not any. There's no shots being taken.
Okay.
Right, but people are cool with where they get their hoagies from. You feel me? Like, I'm
Yeah.
cool with all. There were even some people that weren't involved in the Hoagie War that caught some
Right.
strays. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
because of it. But like I said, I don't think it's not currently going on. Currently, like,
But
nobody's shooting.
I guess where I'm going with this,
Right.
and from a historical
Right.
standpoint,
Historical,
right, is there's certainly evidence out there that points to Chester as the birthplace of the Hoagie.
Yes, Deacon Stanza, 3rd Street.
Right.
I got him.
Now, Deacon Stanzas
I didn't get it.
also speaks to this European, like Chester became black and became a black city. In the early 20th century,
Ukrainian, Catholic, Polacks, it was a port city.
it was a port city.
It was a port city.
So the Hoagie,
right.
and in some way you look at it, it's like these Eastern European folks
Right.
on lunch break.
Right.
The sandwich becomes the Hoagie.
Yeah.
But black people ain't just making them same hoagies no more.
No.
We didn't took that joint and flipped it.
Yeah.
And now we creating our own. So like that idea of like what black creativity is doing and reshaping while also maintaining some form in some ways. Like I know KYJ's was around for like we also maintain this relationship with Eastern Europeans. And this was
because they were the people. They too were immigrants. They too.
Yes.
It was the ones that came here and knew they came here. You feel me? That knew they came here for an opportunity. That we're not trying to knock anyone else's opportunity. It wasn't the people that had been here.
Right.
You feel me? Like, and then they felt a certain type way, right? I got generations here, and then you coming over here, and you. So they felt some type way against them too.
And then through the port city, right, is where these Eastern Europeans, over the sort of generations of industry and whatnot, become white.
Mm-hmm.
And they become white in the shadow of black folks on the west end of Chester.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And they're trying to figure out how do we protect this because, the capitalism is saying these black people coming from the South, and they just taking any money. Like we ain't gotta. These Europeans, they think they can unionize. They think they white.
You want a quarter? I'm gonna give him 15 cents. He gonna take it, and of course you're gonna take it because you were just on a plantation working for free. So no money. Right.
So where I'm going with this, right, is that even that conversation of a hoagie,
absolutely,
gets us into labor conditions, gets us into political economy, gets us into the changing industrial nature of the city, right? And it's reflected in our food patterns.
It is.
So like when we say like listening and being in the zone, what we're attempting to do with this album is like, let's surface particular moments to talk about the depth of where this comes from.
Bro. So I've always, I told you this after the very first time I met you, I need you here. I told you that.
Appreciate that.
I don't care what you want to come up here and talk about, because when you open your mouth, it's not fool's gold. Like you're giving plausible, substantiated evidence that we need to understand to make better decisions for tomorrow, or to even understand what happened back then. Right. So I told you, whatever you need from me, you got it. You feel me?
Well, what I need to do is promote this album. So I should get back to
the album.
Back to the album. So the album is called Engineered Grace.
Engineered Grace.
Engineered Grace Volume 1. Presented by the Chester Gifted Program. It's available on Bandcamp. It's also available on Spotify. It's available on Apple Music. And it's a storytelling album based on these field recordings that we did over the past year. And we put together about 7 tracks that are each telling what we believe to be unique stories of like life in Chester. So my hope is to just play a couple and then just see what kind of conversations it inspires.
Okay. Let's get to it.
I'm not going to go in order.
No.
I think the order is important if you're going to sit down and listen to the album.
Right.
But because of the sort of like particular nature of the conversation, I'm going to skip around. So I want to begin with, this is the one that we featured early. It's called R&B Sundays at the Bonnet's Juke Joint.
Okay.
My name is Crystal Burrell, and I'm an entrepreneur in the city of Chester. And I can definitely say that Chester has shaped me in so many ways that I didn't even think about. Dating all the way back to college, like if it wasn't from being from Chester, being from an underdog city, and people really pointing that out to me, like I wouldn't have like the sea pride. You know, a lot of people in other areas look at us negatively and they always have negative things to say. So it became my job to always make sure I pointed out the positive. And at first it was just something that happens when I came across people from different places. But then it became like part of my purpose, like showing the good things that Chester produces, including myself being one of those things, right? A lot of people will say, oh, you don't seem like you're from Chester. And it's like, well, what does that mean? You know, because being from Chester is beautiful. You know, it's something about rooting for the underdog, you know, the people that you don't expect to thrive, even though there's not that many resources all the time. I love being from Chester. I think we are the most talented people I've ever met. We make something out of nothing, like literally, you know what I mean? And I love that, and I love that, and I love that, and I love that.
Yeah, man. So that's the first one, man. What do you think?
I like it. Right. I especially like when Crystal Burrell was talking about how she felt coming from an underdog city. Right. I went to college. I did. I really did.
Mm-hmm.
I went to college. Right. I did a semester, but I was up in La Plum, PA, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
Right. I went to jail up there too. Right. Dallas. But anyway, and for me saying I'm from Chester,
Right.
there was another bro from Chester, Dwayne Reds. He played basketball.
Right.
We both went up there for basketball, and man, like when people say, "Oh, you from Philly?" No, I'm not from Philly. I'm from Chester, right?
Yeah.
And where's Chester? Chester's it's right outside of Philly. Man, I said no, Chester. You know, it's the birthplace of Pennsylvania,
Right.
You know what I mean? And this
Right.
is something that I knew.
Right.
No, it's not. It's the first courthouse is in Chester, right? That's how you know it was the first place.
Yep.
You feel me? Like, so, yeah, to hear that, to hear the positivity, right, and how she understood that, right? That's near and dear to me, right? Because
Right.
when I started the radio station, you know, it was cultivating mature positivity, right?
Right.
I wanted more people to allow positivity to grow inside of them. Now, I get negatives exist.
Right.
That's something that we can't run from.
Mm-hmm.
But positivity, bro, like that's infectious. You feel me? And if
Right.
more people just start their day off just a little bit better, right?
Right.
More things will get done. More
Yeah.
help will be given. More children will see that they can be great. They can have a dream and really attain it. Right. So for me, I hear exactly what Crystal Burrell is saying, and I appreciate her. But then afterwards, right? Let's take a long walk,
Right.
around the park, right?
Right.
Inside the boots and bonnets, right?
Right.
So it's just for me, it's like it just brought it all home with that right there. So
Yeah. So like to mention what my own sort of like takes of my sort of inner piece as I'm listening to that. We make something out of nothing, like literally, right? Another way that has been said that might like connect back to our history as a people, making a way out of no way. you know? Yeah. You know, that's certainly what we've done, right? I also love the position of like, I know I love this place, and I know that y'all cannot like. My standpoint is from a place of y'all don't know how to.
Right.
Which means I have to bring my own standpoint to the world because I cannot trust the world to define who I am.
No, at all. At all.
That's an incredible standpoint of self-definition and self-determination. That's just in the water around here.
It is.
I think another piece, right? Boots and bonnets. Like, how long has boots and bonnets been around?
And Boots and Bonnets been around for years. Boots and Bonnets was around. Let me see. Keith Byers came through Boots and Bonnets. The Eagles players used to come up through Boots and Bonnets, right? Boots and Bonnets been around for a long time.
So this is like they bring us back into the sort of like golden age of industry in Chester. And the final title, right? Juke John. Right? John being this sort of like localized term. Yeah, you can give it to Philadelphia if you want to, but it's in the region. And then the Juke. So the Juke, that comes from Zora Neale Hurston. Zora Neale Hurston in an essay 1934 called Characteristics of Negro Expression. She talks about the Juke. The Juke is the bar. The Juke is where the blues was created. The Juke is where that sort of, respite from plantation or sharecropping work, we going to take over this space and we going to make it so that we can get the pleasure in our own on our own terms. And I was just at Boots and Bonnets not too long ago with Naj, and DJ Durrell was on the board. Like, that feeling is still present.
It is.
And what I love about it too is not, how can I say, it's grounded in just like, you see like the small connections of like, yo, I remember, she was in my high school class, yo, I know him from over there on, this side of town. And we're all here trying to let the weight of the world off for an evening to just enjoy ourselves. And the drinks are very appropriately priced.
Yes, they are.
The platters are very well done.
Yes, they are.
And it's just this space where you can feel, and what I love is like just like that den of conversation that you hear in a record too, right? Of like that, taking the weight off and just enjoying the moment,
And we all need to do that.
We all need to do that. We need spaces to do that.
Because we keep the weight on when we're dealing with people, and sometimes we explode in places we shouldn't explode, right? In ways we shouldn't explode, right? So sometimes, I know I've learned, right, to take that weight off, like very, very religiously.
Right. So in some ways, we took this sort of, bar, and turned it to like a therapeutic space, a space of, a space of like regeneration, if you will, for some of us. Sometimes folks go in there and they got the wrong thing in their mind. They had too many drinks
because they haven't taken the weight off.
Right.
Don't go in the bar with your weight on, because you're gonna get drunk and you're gonna get the flinging your weight around.
Yeah.
Take your weight off. Let's go. I remember going out with my homies like, yo, we're not taking none of this stuff in there with us. I don't care what happened on the block. I don't care what your girl did. I don't care what your side chick did. I don't care nothing about none of that stuff. We going in here to have fun. I don't want to have to be looking for y'all.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if I don't see you and I know how you feel, you feel me? I know something's going to happen. So can we just drop it all in the car right now and just go in here and have a nice time? And if we meet some new chicks or we talk to some new chicks, that's good.
Right.
You feel me? But let's not go in here to hurt anybody. All right?
Exactly.
Yeah. How many niggas looked at me like I was crazy?
Right.
Fuck out of here. I'm going there. He got his weight on, so we going to have, and 9 times out of 10,
right,
we always had to pull him off of somebody. You know what I mean? And I told you not to take your weight in there.
Right.
It's hard, but that's real.
So like, we sort of touched on a number of things in that record, but like that, those are the ways that I'm sort of thinking about. And the thing of it, anybody who's listening, is like, there's no right or wrong interpretation of what's being sort of like presented here. The idea is to say like, you know, what stories does it connect to for you, you know? And I do think there's something in here for everyone. You ready for the next one?
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right.
We got a comment.
Oh, nice.
I remember going to the bonnets to get greens at age 21 and fell in love with the karaoke and was hooked. That's from Mary Almond. I got Alfred Ross Deal. He said, "This is so dope." Breon Nichols, my brothers. What's going on, Bree? How you feeling, bro? Tracy Rose, CMP is amazing. I'm so proud of your push. Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. And Terrence Brown came through. He said, "What's up, CMP fam?" So yeah.
Yo, talk about that Greens comment, which reminds me. Talk about archives. We kind of do need an archive, a genealogy of the women in the kitchen of our bars, and the platters and plates and like that's
the food that's served.
The food that is served.
Right.
Who's, you know, and I'm not trying to make it a competition thing about who made the best, you know what I mean? But I think there's something to be said about the person who holds that roll down.
Yeah.
It's a very important community thing.
It is. It's beyond important. How you feed your community, what you eat on a day-to-day basis, basically lets others know what your palate's like. You know what I mean? Like if you eating burgers and if you're eating, I'm not gonna go after your favorite store. If you're eating Showwells every night,
Oh, I got you.
after you go get drunk,
Word.
I know what you're about. But
Yeah.
if you happen to have some fried chicken in there from the sister, you feel me? And
If I'm being honest, I go to Showwells because it reminds me of JNS.
either one, either JNS or Showwells sold the same thing, but JNS is still open. But now, and I think I don't want to say that people just started, but I think COVID played a part in our community feeding itself. You
Yeah,
feel me?
true.
And for the people for the vegans,
Right.
for the people that make juice. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? We are learning that we can do it ourselves. We don't need to make
Right.
whoever rich. We don't need to
Right.
make someone who is not pouring back
Yes.
or giving back or doing back or being back
Right.
into our community. We
Yeah.
can do it ourselves. So I say, man, I support all the entrepreneurs because I know it's not an easy journey.
Right.
It's not, bro.
Right.
It's a journey where you discover who you are.
Right.
You feel me? What you want
Right.
and why you truly do what you do.
You know what's interesting about this? If we talk about the evolution of the hoagie, right? One of the things I feel like we're witnessing now is the evolution of the egg roll. They got egg rolls for everything now. You got the buffalo chicken egg roll. You got the cheesesteak egg roll.
Right? Salmon, egg roll. I love the salmon joints.
So what black folks are doing here is recognizing, you know, the Chinese takeout that has been sort of like a staple in some ways, for better or worse, of our diets.
Right.
And they're going like, nah, we can, bring this to a new place.
Absolutely.
The fusion. So you've seen a fusion of culture.
Oh yeah, Fusion Friday.
Right.
All right.
Now, I'm not doing no art project about, for example, we got in Philly, we got Black Dragon.
Right.
They got collard green egg rolls and, you know, the soul roll, which is like mac and cheese and greens. You know, like when the juice and the greens meets the mac and cheese, they capture that in an egg roll.
Stop. Where they do that at?
It's pretty good.
Where they do that at?
This is Black Dragons at 53rd and Rodman in West Philly.
Greens, macaroni and cheese, and chicken, or just the
No, it's greens, macaroni and cheese, and I think
and sweet potatoes
sweet potatoes
in the egg roll.
in the egg roll.
No meat. It's a vegan situation.
Yeah. I'm thinking of like whether it's meat in the greens. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
I don't
turkey.
think so.
Right.
I don't think so.
Y'all hear that?
So
first person to bring me one.
Right. I mean, check them out. I highly recommend them. Collard green egg rolls is my favorite.
Black Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going up there.
Let's go. And continuing on this sort of like
seafood egg roll. Sheesh.
Yeah, you know. I'm sure it's people in the comments probably, bringing other joints up.
Yeah.
The next one I want to go to is it's called Rediscovering a Basketball Brotherhood. And this, was based on field recordings with a couple different programs. Chester Bitty Basketball League, of course, and as well as Hoop Sessions, which is the missing plug.
That's happening now.
They're doing a tournament right now at the Boys and Girls Club, the George Carter Boys and Girls Club on Madison.
See, we plugging away.
Right. So this one's called Rediscovering a Basketball Brotherhood. It's about 4 minutes.
All right.
Blake, I know you since, 5, 6 years old. Yeah. I know the generation of basketball players you came up in. Tell me a bit about what basketball meant to you in Chester.
Oh shoot, basketball meant everything, man. Just the togetherness, coming up, having the coaches that we had that was empowering us and sacrificing for us, There was a lot of good energy and influence around us, despite what people may think. It was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah.
And I also think about that time too of because you was an all-star. So that meant that you had your team, then you also got to know basically black boys from all across the city.
Absolutely.
In every neighborhood.
Absolutely.
So by the time you got to school, you already got a crew of people that you're already cool with.
Absolutely.
Talk about some of the relationships, you built them through basketball, but it's for everything.
Yeah. Actually, we talk about that to this day. Me and some coaches that coached us back then that's still around now.
Yeah.
And even some of the players, it was really like a different type of brotherhood that we had. You know what I mean? Just traveling from state to state. As obviously the best players in the city.
Yep.
Repping our name wherever we go.
Right.
Going to different leagues, whether it's around here in Delco, Plymouth, Beacon, Media, Paoli, Eddystone. See, back then we was all through there. You know what I mean? And we used to kick a lot of behind back then. But the togetherness that we had was on a different level. And I love to see it.
Yeah, and now it's your responsibility to bring that same togetherness to the next generation.
Ain't no doubt.
And the work that you can. So what's that been like?
Ain't no doubt. It's been amazing. I just was talking. I seen one of our old Coach Butch, and that's just crazy. It's just seen him less than a week ago, and he was I was telling him how I remember the sacrifices that our coaches made for us.
Right.
A lot of them was like father figures, big brothers, whatever you want to call it, but they was there and he was under their tutelage. But now he was like, man, it's y'all turn now, because he know how to coach now or whatever. And I'm like, listen, I hear you, and we doing it.
Yeah.
And we gonna continue to.
Facts.
Get on defense, Gary. Defense. Get him in. Gary, stay on him. Stay on him. Defense, Gary. Defense. Hands out. Yo, get the ball, Gary. Good job. Woo. Defense. Turn around.
Keeps going, I think for the idea is to situate the listener, that's the third quarter of 6 and 7 year old basketball, right at the Sportsplex. And obviously it's about the relationship between the folks who are in the stands supporting the game and 6 and 7 year olds figuring it out on the basketball.
Right.
Right.
You have to allow them to figure it out, though, right? whether they want to run with the ball or whatever they want to
Right.
do. You have to allow them to have fun, right? And I, my thinking is different. We have currently the Sixers have LeBron James.
Right.
To watch him wear a Sixer jersey live and in person, it's going to cost you $2,000 for
Right.
a seat so high up. Players don't even look like real players.
Mm-hmm.
For me, for a game that is played by 6 and 7-year-old kids, it's too much, right? So I'm just saying, I would love for our kids to get an opportunity to play in a owned environment that's owned by Chester.
Right.
It's owned by the community, right?
Well, I feel like Chester Biddy basketball is, for all intents and purposes.
It is. It has been.
Right.
But there's no real home. There's no Biddy home. Like a Biddy owned arena. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Like, I mean, we do have quite a few basketball players that made it to the league. We do have quite a few basketball players, even if they didn't make it to the league, that are helping with Biddy. So, you know, that's just me.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
What I heard from Blake is when he ran into the old coach reminded him, it's your turn. Pass that baton. And that's a lot of what we have to do in our community, right? You know, there are some people that are standing in the way of progress, not assisting, just standing in the way of progress. So when you see somebody and they look younger than them, number one, mentor them.
Right.
Help them understand what their job is. Don't turn them into another you. Allow them to grow and coach and help and be and lead the way they feel comfortable leading. Mentor them on the things that might come up, right?
Right.
How to behave as a man. I wish, like I said, my dad died when I was 12.
Right.
I had to learn through trial and error how to behave as a man. You know what I mean? I had to hold myself accountable for not behaving as a man, right? For allowing things to fester and keep on going on to a point where I'm like, damn, I fucked that up. You know what I mean? And even when you know you did, you stay with it because it's already here, right? So for me, I like everything that Blake had to say. That's my guy.
It's interesting that you took it there. Like I think one of the things I even write about in this book at the time, you know, I lost my parents pretty early, you know, age 12 and 16. Certainly my brain wasn't fully developed. And in many ways, the gratitude that I have to the many examples of the diversity of fathers that I came into contact with in this city. You know, and I think like we don't think about that enough. I feel like we do this illusion, if you will, where, you know, even our politicians will say something like, it all starts at home. It's da-da-da-da. It's like, hey, y'all, we are social beings. We're being shaped
by what we see.
By what we see.
What we smell.
All these things have an influence on us.
Boy.
But it's this, and we need to be mindful of that. And I would imagine the coaches and folks who take up, they get to step into that awareness of themselves as influence, like that my influence is doing something, right? And I'm not saying that everybody is trying to be a parent or will want to be a parent, but I do think that sort of awareness of the responsibility of our actions and behaviors influence the next generation.
Yes, they do.
Is something that we all need to sort of like claim, because that's how life works. And certainly we're going to make mistakes and mess up and like reproduce our own traumas along the way. But I think in that collective feeling of that, you get the opportunity for other people to like catch you.
Yes.
You know, so it becomes that village atmosphere. And so when I think about Chester Biddy, I think about that. Like Miss Deneen Mosley.
Yes.
You know, and with Daryl, and I hang out a little bit more with Naps now.
Right.
But like she and her, like the family, the Mosley family was such a visible, like the support of like, oh, we got to go to Plymouth meetings. So how we gonna figure this out? Oh, you need a ride? Look, you can ride. Like all those sorts of things of looking out for each other, of creating the spaces for folks to grow and find the things that they're passionate about, the skills they want to develop, making connections, the sort of, anchoring a faith and all those things that go into it. Like those things are things you come into community with.
Yes.
So I think about Chester Biddy in that way of like, this was a space in which you got to see the village of people come out, where you got like, you knew your boy from the class. Right. Now you get to see his parents or his older brother or whoever is serving that sort of like caregiving role. Absolutely. Right. And then the many people who are sacrificing to even keep this program going. Boy. You know what I mean? And I now get to see. I see the magic tricks now. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Of like, hey y'all, we go and get pizza after the game. Right. Before, he's like, oh, this is a celebration. Right. Now I go like, oh no, they need to make sure one of these kids is eating. Right. You know what I'm like? Right. You get to see those little gestures and moves that make a neighborhood, a place, a village. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And it's like those little practices that like, all right, what size shoe? Right. Yo, give him the You ain't wearing those no more. Right. Those things.
Yeah. I saw a post of a mother taking her son's sneakers from him for bullying another kid about his sneakers.
Word.
I don't know if that was, a pre-recorded situation or a practice situation, but I mean that's how I am. My son knows better. You feel me? Like the last thing I ever want to hear you say is I have and you don't, because soon you won't have and he will.
Right.
And I'll be the one to take them from you. You feel me? Like, so it was so many situations that when my son played Biddy, when I played Biddy, only played for 1 year. Yeah. Then my dad got sick and then it was over. You feel me? So I was like 10, 11, and I played for that 1 year. But after that, I didn't play anymore. And I always wonder why I didn't play anymore. And I didn't want to investigate, but then I understood my dad died. And part of my mother died as well. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That part of being a wife.
Yeah.
That part of having a partner.
Right.
I didn't attribute that to raising your son.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so for a while, me and my mom, we had it out, bro. Like we was going through it until I realized, like, damn, you lost something too. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just me. I wasn't the only person, but you lost. You actually. And I used to say, no, that was my dad. Oh, but that was your husband.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for y'all meeting each other, like, you wouldn't have created me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. I get that. I get it.
Yeah.
Wow. Got me in my feelings over here.
It
don't take much, though.
Yeah, right. And there's more to that as well. One of the memories that come to mind is like tagging. We got a AAU team, a travel team, and we got to get to a place. So now you out at, hold up. I'm on Curlin, right in front of the gas station, at that light,
right,
with the buckets,
right,
and relying on your community,
right, to support
you, this cohort of young people.
We need it.
To get to this place.
Right.
That's a lot, man.
It's a lot. It's heavy. And still when you go to the boots and the bonnets, put your weight down.
Yeah.
Take your weight off. You feel me? Kick your feet up.
Right.
Enjoy yourself. Right? Because my man's birthday is this Saturday.
That is true.
This Saturday.
Yes, August 22nd is my birthday. I'm turning 38.
38.
I'm grateful to celebrate it with this block party, the Black Party.
I feel like
and
an
being
old
part of the
dog.
planning.
I was 46.
46.
Yes.
Okay.
That's fucked up.
I don't think it is.
I think it is.
You know, like you age with like great. Like you understand more about yourself.
Oh yeah,
and
I'm
the
young.
world and
Oh,
all those
I
things,
know.
like-
I'm super young because when I
Right.
went to therapy, my therapist said I was 16. So
Right.
I went to therapy. That was about 10 years ago. So I'm 20. I'm 26.
That's not a good comment from you.
Well, my therapist? No, because he asked me what I wanted to be when I was 16 years old.
Oh, he asked you what you wanted to be when you. Okay, I thought he was trying to say that like at
My behavior?
your 36 age, you were acting 6.
No, at my 36, I was acting more like a 14-year-old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you feel me? Like, but
Maybe it was the truth.
right. And what did I want to be when I was 16? I wanted to be Tony Brown.
Quiet Storm.
CMPRadio.net.
Yes.
Right. And I wanted to talk into the microphone like that. I wanted
Shout
to
out to
move
Gary
my-
Shepard.
Yes.
Remember Gary Shepard?
Yes.
We went to his. It was like through my church.
Yeah.
Or he went to my church for a little minute.
Right.
We ended up going to like a cookout or something
Right,
at his
right,
house.
right.
I was like, yo, this is Gary Shepard's house.
It's
This is
amazing.
crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. So, that's what I wanted to be. So that's why I said I'm 26. I'm 26. And I'll take it. You feel me?
So I'm thinking about how to the album is 7 tracks. Maybe I throw this one to you. So a couple of tracks. One is it was important for us to establish the environmental justice component, and we thought of no better voice than Miss Celine Mayfield
Yes.
to serve that.
Absolutely.
And we were able to record her as part of a program that took place in West Philadelphia at the Rotunda that was organized by Big Dre.
Right.
So I got that track, and that's a pretty heavy, weighty track around our environmental justice work.
Right. Come on.
I also have another one that is about it's called "Remembering Our Roots on the Waterfront," and that is field recording at the waterfront, voices from young people, as well as Dr. Nolan Fontaine, who does a lot in studying the American Indian heritage of this area. So it was also about like giving honor, the water, the Delaware River, the Delaware.
Yes.
Right. This is referencing the indigenous and native peoples
Absolutely.
to this area.
Lenape.
Right.
Right.
So then we also have one from Miss Twyla Simpkins, who's been working very diligently at Green Lawn Cemetery to think about the recovery of that.
I rode past the other day. They were out there cutting the grass.
Right.
And
So
I just looked further back and I said, that's where my people are.
Yeah.
Further back. Right.
And this is like, for folks anyone who may not know, that's past the fairground.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was the
only-
burial ground in which basically all Black people of Chester during a particular period of time were buried. So if you walk through there, anyone who's grew up around here and you look at the names on the headstones, you're seeing, a lot of people you grew up with, a lot of their
grandmothers,
yeah.
grandfathers, uncles, great uncles,
Right.
great aunts, many people.
Many
right?
of those folks too are veterans and
Veterans,
right?
yes,
Like
yes,
these,
yes.
like so you're seeing.
And this is it's a disgrace the way that those grounds were kept, and how much they didn't take care
right,
of it, right?
which is there's a national story on that of Black burial grounds
Right.
and in the present day of like keeping them alive,
Right.
but also the historical
Right.
erasure
Right.
of Black and African burial grounds on these lands, like Wall Street,
Right.
built over top of a African burial
Why
ground.
wouldn't it be?
You know what I mean? So these
Why wouldn't
these
it be?
there's
Right.
something to be said there, and also what we're sort of like documenting is the folks who stood in the gap
Right.
to not allow these
Allow it
places,
to
right?
happen. See,
We-
once you don't have someone telling you what's important or what was important back then or
Right.
what should still, if not super important, it should still be important to protect and preserve the memories of your people, of your ancestors, right?
Right.
My grandmother, my great grandmother, my grandfather, they're all buried there.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back there the one time I was trying to, go see that, right? And the ground isn't stable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So literally I could fall in. So they was like, nah, don't go back there.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow. So how would we be able to make the ground stable? You have to put dirt in there. It's crazy. So where did the dirt go? Well, the dirt wasn't really filled up the way it was supposed to be filled up.
Right.
Huh? So you was shorting on the dirt you was putting back in the ground? Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
And it's also, particularly at Green Lawn, there's a trucking business.
Yes.
Not too.
Mm-hmm.
And you wonder.
Yeah.
You wonder.
No, you don't wonder.
The encroaching
The encroachment
of
that's
business onto
15-yard penalty.
Black burial ground.
Yeah. And that's what they do.
Right.
They're not gonna remember this. Ain't nobody gonna fight about this.
Right.
Give it another 20 years, won't nobody remember we was even over here. We can move over everything.
Yeah.
And then here comes Miss Twyla.
Yep.
I remember that.
Right.
So for the people that stand up for us,
Right.
and remember their friends, their grandmothers, their aunts, their uncles, and the people that raised them, thank you.
I think this conversation that we're having gives me enough energy to say, let's roll with this one.
With that one.
The title of the track is called Grieving Our Losses, Claiming Our Victories.
Come on.
One of the things that came up in Tai Chi was like the presence of ancestors and how important that was. So Green Lawn immediately came to mind as a place that we needed to come to. Not only for, the story of the place, but also, the work that you do. So that my hope was to, talk with you about the obituary work that you do, but also just like the importance of how we steward the afterlives of people and like continue to lift up their names.
Yeah, well, this is just so close and personal to me because my grandparents are in one of these rows, okay? Mm-hmm. And it was always kept. And I don't visit with any regularity. When I visit. And I always noticed that our plots were always kept. And everything else was. And I'm like, why? Okay. So that just started this inquiry. And it just kind of led me down a rabbit hole because the last known supervisor of Green Lawn passed, and so there's no official record to be had. So now if you bought a plot here, hopefully you have the paperwork and hopefully you're working with a mortician who can help you find where your loved one is located, have the connections to bring the burial people in. And it was just a lot of challenges that I found in doing the work. Because when the snow disappeared this past, like a month or two ago, I found a new burial. And it's like, yeah, they knew where their plot was. They put their loved one in. Somebody has to know. It has to be some accountability. I usually sit on that bench and just look around. I don't particularly care for the geese, but they be just strutting around like what? So, and it's just so peaceful. When I was leaving yesterday, a guy came, he said, I'm 81, and I just come here, and it's so peaceful. And I said, yeah. And he said, and I noticed that it's been so well kept. And all I can think of is, even with all of the confusion, the out and out lies, the false accusations that I've gone through in doing this, we were here when Miss Jenny was being buried, and Bruce Talbot had called and said we're on our way. So I'm sitting over there because he's going to give me the paperwork, and then I get a lot of the footage as they're digging, putting it back and all that. And my sister said, I don't want you to get emotional. She said, but when the stuff hits the fan, remember these days. Because of your work, that family can do what they're doing, bury their loved one. So that's, like you asked how I keep going, it's just looking back on the victories and trying to plan and claim some more.
What will we do without Miss Twyla?
Yeah, shout out to Miss T. Shout out to her tireless work and efforts.
Not just now. I'm talking about in high school.
Oh, yes.
What would we have done without a Miss T? Miss Irma
Yeah.
Mason, Miss Blackwell, the teachers.
Right.
Oh man, school's starting up. You gonna take that into school?
I would love to partner with anybody who would like to, teach about it. I think just as we talked today, I think it's a ground setter for the newer generation of Chester to be able to, in some ways, see the contributions of Black folks across the 20th century in Chester. Yes. I think there's ways that we can pull different histories out of what is heard here and do it. I think there's a curriculum here. Yes.
Yeah, so I started Project Engage.
Got you.
Which is intergenerational storytelling.
Right.
Where we take, I was going to say where we take an elder, and it doesn't matter their age. They can either be graduating high school, 11th grade high school, or they could be graduated high school, working a job, have children, right?
Right.
But a youth.
Got you.
A millennial.
Right.
And they have a conversation. They talk about life. The millennial or the child or the youth interviews the elder, and then the elder interviews them, and they share and exchange information. And what I've learned is that they have almost not the exact same story, but they have a lot of similarities.
Right.
And then they end up realizing that they know more people than they thought. And then they're like, oh my God, like that's your aunt. Oh man, that is crazy because I used to. Right. So we don't share the information we should share, and we push the information we shouldn't push. And that's what really hurts us.
Yeah, I mean, and I think a lot of people, your phone is a perfect device to be able to do a pretty good quality, audio recording. But you can also, because the materials are now there, go check out these materials at J. Lewis Crozier Library and begin doing oral histories. Like, begin with your family members. Ask them questions about their life in the city. That was one of the things too that as we listen back to it, I'm thinking about more. And of course, I had this question in the production of like, some people do the documentary, right, where they ask the question, and then they take themselves out, and it's just the answer from the elder or the person that they're in conversation with. I think it was important for me, particularly because many of the people here are people I have real relationships with, to say like, this is in dialogue. It's not just, the reporter putting a thing in someone's face and asking them, tell me about the city. You're talking with someone who was also, very much around and present for a lot of the history that's being talked about, so that we are collaborating on trying to share this with a third audience.
Come on.
And I think that does a different bend in the way that we wanted to do this project. Because, a version of it is going to go up at the Institute of Contemporary Art.
Come on.
But it was important for us to do this project in a way where it honors that Chester is not just represented in it, it's producing it. They're producing the narrative of Chester together.
Right.
So I think that was also important for why the voices were really important to me as well. Because Black voices, the tone, the dialect, all that's a history. It's a particular history. Now, I was telling my folks this. I used to be good enough. Now, you can let me know if you think I'm just a lie or not. I feel like when I was here, I used to be good enough to hear somebody talk and go like, "Oh, you from the West Side?"
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You can hear that.
You can still do that.
Yeah.
You know, like that level of.
You hear that? Oh, you from the McCabe?
Like, yes.
You feel me?
The Bennett always had their own slang.
Right.
Like, I think that that closeness of place is something that I think is very unique to us in Chester. That I don't know, when I'm in Philly, they don't. But then again, I'm not exactly with the. You know, I'm working when I'm.
You grew up here, so you know
exactly.
You know,
I'm more transactional in Philly.
How things are said, how things are meant when they said like this or they said like this. You feel me? Like you know. So yeah, transactional. You're more transactional in Philly, absolutely.
But like that feeling of getting to know
because
a place
somebody
like
that grew up in Philly would know.
Right.
He from North.
Right.
He from Southwest. You feel me? Like, how you know? It's the way he said this or the way he said John. And he don't say John like he say John. You feel me? Like so.
So I think that's also important and why the voices were so important to this project too.
I am without a doubt impressed by your work as always. Make sure. So when I'm hoping that things go well for me. If they do go well for me, I won't be here.
I got you.
For the opening.
Okay.
But I'm hoping to be able to catch it.
Yeah, it'll be open from September to February.
All right. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Right. And I want you to share whatever flyers or promotion she has.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's definitely coming. Naj and I were invited to do an interview with the Inquirer not too long ago as well. So we hope there to be media coverage of the story. And obviously, one of the timely connections here is that we're doing a project about Chester, and it's going to be exhibited in Philadelphia at a time where Philadelphia has the chance to reduce suffering in Chester by not renewing the contract for Reworld Incinerators. So like that, using these stories, and I think one of the things that we were intending to do is like, yeah, we want to talk about resistance, but our whole life ain't lived in response to that either. So like, we want to call it out, but we also need to tell our own story while we do it.
Yes, we do.
So like, you know, shout out to everyone who's organizing to stop the renewal of the contract of Philadelphia with Reworld Incinerators, because we believe those are the things that will create a more healthy Chester, where many of us can live fuller lives. And I have a belief that maybe even some people at Reworld believe that and want to see that day come. So
it's crazy.
Yep.
No, I'm all about figuring things out and making things work for everybody, right? And I am without a doubt excited for everything that you're doing. I'm excited for everything that Miss Twyla is doing. I'm excited for everything that Miss Zulina is doing with her children and training them to understand and see what she sees.
Right.
Right. And however I can support that.
Yeah, man. So I mean, you asked like you've been inducted into the Chester Gifted program, man. Our job is to make room for your gifts.
All right, appreciate it. Appreciate it.
So, I think the work that we have coming up as we figure out this little lane that we built, like talk about like work and what work does, and learning how to release this project, right? Which was connected to this art exhibit, project, which is one way and one avenue in which is going to be delivered. But in that, I just learned how to distribute music online. I just learned what it takes to be able to create and distribute a project to multiple streaming systems, streaming platforms. That's another avenue.
That's a whole nother
right?
avenue.
And what can we do with the creative work out of Chester and have a new renaissance of, rap music and music that is being released? These are the things that you learn in the midst of the project, and one thing becomes another thing. So you follow the work and one thing becomes another. And the idea is Oskino said this. DJ Najee sent this to me. He said, part of the work is if I get you popping, we get you popping, we get you popping, I got a feeling that crime gonna go down. I got a feeling that, we ain't gonna be pulling guns out as fast no more. Cause we all
getting each other popping.
We all motioning.
We're working in conjunction with each other. That's how a chain operates.
Yeah.
We can't do anything if you got a problem with working with either one of us. So we have to pull each other.
Right.
We got to pull on each other. We got to tug each other. Listen, you need some oil, make a noise.
Right.
Squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Yep.
I don't have a problem with you making no noise.
Yep.
I will stop.
Yep.
What's wrong? What's going on? How you feeling? Are you okay? Are you not okay? Okay, what do you need? Right? That's where I'm at. Because I realize you can't do anything by yourself.
Right.
I tried.
Right.
I did. It's burnt out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It came to a point where I was like, man, I can't. I don't even want to continue. Then some things happened and had me like, no, for real, I'm definitely going. I booked the trip to Dominican Republic to off myself. And I think about that more and more every day. Like, damn, I was really there. You feel me? But nobody that knew me knew it.
Right.
Like, y'all let me go to the Dominican Republic by myself. Y'all didn't ask. Like, P, why you going by yourself? No, I went.
Right.
And sat there with a razor in my hand. If my son didn't call my phone.
Right.
And say, yo, Pop, da-da-da-da, happy birthday, man. I love you, man. See you when you get back. We got to talk. I wouldn't have no reason to come back.
That is what you love, some force in the universe was intervened in that moment to
call your pop. Tell your pop.
To change your thinking.
Right.
From one
wasn't going
if I would say cinematic way that you had planned.
Bro.
Into returning home to a loved one.
Right. Coming home. Man, listen. Oh man, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, just for everything that I felt at that time, because in all actuality, I was alone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I had to get through it alone. So I went, they got Coco Bongo. I went to Coco Bongo that night, you feel me? And had a couple drinks and felt all right, right? But it was still the same feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With the radio station, the love that I'm able to give to my community.
Right.
To come up here and do their podcast and talk about the things that affect them.
Right.
And hurt them and make them want to shift. Or hold somebody accountable for their mistreatment of their community. I love to do that.
Right.
Right? And that's why I'm here. So I'm like, yo, all right, I got to figure this out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got to figure out the radio.
Right.
Right? Not everything else that's happening with P. Let me put that down for a couple minutes and figure out the radio. So, yeah, man, I appreciate you, bro.
You know what's interesting about that? I'll leave it here. I teach a class about music. I'm teaching a class about music at Hartford College this fall, called B-Sides and Blues Visions. And one of the things that they talk about in the blues is that, right? The role of the blues is I'm taking the life experience that I cannot hold, and I'm using that to create a song, something that exists outside of me, right? And I'm creating that for the world, and then sharing those feelings and that experiences with the world, and in my ability to connect my experiences with someone else, that idea of self-acceptance comes back, which allows me to be able to move on from what I was previously experiencing. So in many ways, the blues is a process that we Africans have created
Absolutely.
and maintain
Absolutely.
of regulating our nervous systems. So, all to say, like, the music, the sound, storytelling, it's all connected, man, and all part of a much larger, a much deeper, a much, deeply rooted experience and practice that allows us to survive and pass those tools down onto the next generation.
Yes, sir.
So it's been a blessing to do this interview. I should probably do my plugs again.
Yes, go ahead.
The Get Plugged In block party is this Saturday. 2 to 8. From the 400 block to 600 block of Avenue of the States. We have DJs. We have vendors. The mayor's Summer Safe series is concluding, so there'll be a kids area. DJ Naj B is doing a rap cipher in the evening. I'm working on, I got to get with my man in Philly. We did Chester Photo Week this summer, and we had a lot of great photographers from Chester, both amateur and folks who have been trying to sort of like build a sort of career or hobby out of this. They submitted photos. I'm working on getting them printed to have them available, sort of like a Chester Photo Week yearbook. And then the album is out. It's called Engineered Grace Volume 1. It's available on Bandcamp where you can buy it. It comes with some bonus content. We created a small zine that is dedicated to advancing environmental justice organizing. That comes as a free download with the album. Also some limited edition homecoming footage is included in there. It's a secret. You know what I'm saying?
Not your homecoming footage.
No, the homecoming, Chester homecoming. The party.
Yeah, because
footage.
Your homecoming footage.
And then the
show will.
Oh, it's $10. It's $10. You pay $10.
What's
$10 is the album is $10 on Bandcamp,
right?
Because those proceeds are going to Circle, the environmental justice organizing group, to keep the organizing going.
Come on.
So it's also available on Spotify. It's also available on Apple Music. I got this book called My City Needs Something, which is available in stores. Features a number of Chester stories.
Come on.
And Chester Gifted Program is coming back with Chester Biddy this fall. And I think, and I'm organizing a Chester High School Class of 2006 reunion, working alongside my classmates. That's coming up too in October.
2006.
Class of 2006.
Okay, all right. I thought you said 2026.
No. Class of 2006. We
20 years.
We getting things going. We're gonna be at the Wilmington Riverfront. Get your tickets. If you're a part of the class. If you're not part of the class, we'll see.
What you mean?
We're gonna get you.
Why can't we show up?
Well,
it's not a class
reunion. First, we need to make sure that our classmates buy tickets, and then it might come to pass that we make tickets available for others. But the first preference is that we want all of our class there.
I don't know about they want to party with y'all.
Yeah, man. But this has been great.
Yes, absolutely. I appreciate
my dual tacos to take home.
I appreciate you.
I'm not taking a shot. I feel like I survived without taking that shot. So I really appreciate the 1800 and the apartment court.
You're definitely taking a shot when we're done. You're not on live on air. It's a birthday.
All right.
Possibly. Ain't no possibly. You better pick one.
I see. I don't know if this is matched with the duo taco I had.
The tequila will. Tomorrow. Oh, you gotta go to work tomorrow?
We're gonna see.
I'm not telling you to drink till you're drunk. I said have a shot. Anyway, CMPRadio.net, man. I want to thank my guest, my brother, Christopher Rogers, Dr. Christopher Rogers, for coming through here and blessing our airwaves with his speak, man, with his very well pronunciated vocabulary.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm not one of those black people who do the thing is like, oh, you say I speak English? Yeah, no, I do. I've been working.
I do it very well. I appreciate that. Listen, man, make sure y'all come out. Friday, Fusion Friday is happening right out front. You already know that's happening. Saturday, they got a book bag drive up at the high school. Come out for that. Make sure you get your book bags. Make sure you come out and get your resources for that. And then a Get Plugged In block party. You already heard it, right? Mayor Stefan Roots. I think got a fashion show happening out there. Naj B got a book bag.
Kenya.
Got the Cypher, Sax. And CMPradio.net will be there, man. Listen, we'll be out there supporting. Make sure you come through and support. And John Doggy's going to be there. That's really why I didn't want to bring the radio station, because I ain't had a John Dog in about 2 years.
Oh yeah.
Waiting for this specific time in September or August to get a John Dog, because I don't like eating hot dogs for real. So I only can eat them like once a year. Anyway, CMPradio.net. This is the station. Make sure you're tuned in to all of the podcasts that are playing on the radio station. And, man, have a great night, man. Anything you want to say before we get up out of here?
Nah, man, it's great. You support CMP, invest in community radio. Support community expression, man. Support community platforms. We need these.
Peace.